The universe is a huge place full of mysteries. Thanks to all the research that has been done with the technology we have, we know that the Milky Way is only a very small part of everything we can find in the vastness of space. Even the skeptics have put aside their doubts, due to the images, videos, and audios that have been disseminated from sites such as NASA itself. Yes, a lot of evidence has been collected over the years, but today we have received a whole series of stills, which are worth analyzing for their impressive quality, as well as certain details that reveal a lot about deep space. The universe is huge, but with the discovery that has been made, it could reveal certain details that everyone should know. What was seen in the James Webb telescope? Why is it so important? And how would it change life as we know it? These and other questions have been on the minds of scientists, astronomers, and scholars who are dedicated to the study of the universe and its components for a few hours now. This is due to certain images that were released a few hours ago and have since been circulating around the world, reaching the majority of the world's population. Not only are these frames much sharper and better quality than other photos of outer space, but they also show some elements accurately. Let's learn a bit about this discovery and why it is so momentous. This Monday, there was an impact event that will surely change the way we see the space around us. As we know, planet Earth is a small portion of everything we can find in the vastness of the universe, and today, that idea was reinforced in full. The James Webb telescope released a series of images a few hours ago that have gone around the world, surprising more than a few people. These frames were unveiled on Monday at an event hosted by the White House itself. President Joe Biden, along with his cabinet and a number of supporters, had the opportunity to be some of the first people to see the photos, and many have since declared them to be the clearest and most accurate they have ever seen. In particular, one of the photographs is the one that has caught people's attention the most, as it shows a tiny slice of the universe. That's right, the image you're looking at right now is, quote, a tiny slice of the universe, the size of a grain of sand held in your finger, in an outstretched arm by someone on the ground. That's the analogy NASA director Bill Nelson made when he described it. From what the space agency's own scholars have commented, this is said to be the deepest and sharpest infrared image of the universe to date. And they're right, because if we look closely, we can see certain details that we have never seen before. The space photograph shows a certain area of the universe known as SMACS 0723. Studies have shown that a huge number of star clusters converge there, which act like a huge magnifying glass, due to the enormous gravitational force there. This fact allows the stars to amplify the light from past galaxies. As reported by NASA scientists, this is one of the points that has been studied the most with the Hubble telescope. However, due to the incredible quality of the images delivered by its counterpart, the James Webb telescope, it is expected that this telescope will eventually replace Hubble at some point and help with the ongoing research in the area of SMACS 0723. One of the most remarkable elements of the photograph is the fact that the deep field is very well distinguishable despite the brightness of the stars. This is because the image was taken with a very long exposure time, in order to be able to detect those objects that have a much fainter presence due to the distance. Quote, "These images will remind the world that there is nothing beyond the capability of Americans," Biden said during the speech, before the unveiling of the photograph. Although criticism is already circulating on social media about the words used by the US president, most of the attention is still on the image. Thanks to the joint efforts of NASA, the European Space Agency or ESA, and the Canadian Space Agency or CSA, the James Webb has become one of the telescopes that has provided the best results in terms of obtaining information and analysis of the astronomy field. With this event, the space agencies offered a small taste of what is expected to become a whole series of revelations, with outer space as the protagonist. As NASA, ESA, and CSA provide us with more images of the universe, it is expected that some of its secrets will begin to be revealed to humans. Until recently, James Webb has only targeted star clusters close to our Milky Way. For example, the Large Magellanic Cloud. These sites have already been studied by other agencies and telescopes in the past, but these tests were performed in order to perfectly calibrate the instrument. Now, with the image of SMACS 0723 in our hands, we can say that these tests were a success. However, the most important part of the picture has not yet been revealed. Quote, "We are looking more than 13 billion years back in time," said Nelson, explaining that the Webb telescope has the ability to show the light from the first stars that formed in the universe. This not only surprised many, but also caused a stir in the scientific community because of the possibilities that the breakthrough represents. Quote, "In addition, we will be able to see if there are habitable planets, because we will be able to determine the chemical composition of their atmosphere with the telescope." If everything NASA spokespersons have said is true, then not only has a major step forward been taken in astronomy, but this discovery could help preserve human life, even on other planets. Along with the image of SMACS 0723, it was revealed on Monday that space agencies may already have in their hands photographs of the South Ring Nebula, the Carina Nebula, or Stephan's Quintet. If the news is confirmed in the coming days, we would start receiving these and other frames of several cosmic targets of interest to astronomers. Because of its high sensitivity and broad spectrum, the James Webb telescope has what it takes to observe the light from hundreds of galaxies, which lie a few hundred million years after the Big Bang. Not only would this allow us to better understand our universe, but we could also obtain enough data to begin exploring it. For those who don't know, this isn't the first time James Webb has surprised us with images of it. Earlier this year, the telescope managed to deploy its huge mirror made of much smaller hexagons, and since then, its systems, such as its coronagraphs, cameras, and spectrographs, have far exceeded the expectations of the scientific community. Webb's technology is state-of-the-art, and based on the results it's provided, many expect it to be continually upgraded. However, as an open space object, it is not surprising that the telescope has suffered a few mishaps. For example, in May this year, the machine was hit by a micrometeorite, which, according to the engineer's calculations, was expected to be much smaller. That was not the case, and Webb underwent several checks before continuing its space surveys. Such accidents and others are all too common up there. Still, experts continue to say that the James Webb telescope is performing at a level that, quote, "exceeds mission requirements," despite a marginally detectable effect on the data. With that comment, we mark the end of a new video. Although we have just seen images that are astonishing in their content and all that they represent, we cannot ignore our planet and all that we are living within it. We are in a somewhat complicated and confusing time. However, looking at the discovery of the telescope and these images, it even seems that our problems are the size of a grain of sand. And you, what do you think of the frames that are released? Do you think these images could revolutionize people and provoke a change in our way of life? Or on the contrary, will they end up in oblivion like so many other discoveries? Leave your answers in the comments box. See you next time.